tell everybody, Mr. Lee will not be on camera, but he will be here vocally. So don't ask where he at. He here, right there. He just looking a little less Asian today. Okay,
More white than adjacent.
more white adjacent than
You
Asian.
gotta just do a green screen or a picture of him.
Avatar.
Yeah, and a little avatar.
Let me see if I can get his avatar. Hang on.
But it's got to be real chinky, like, oh!
Can you? Do you have an avatar you can put up there?
It'll take me a second. I might.
Because if you do, what?
Make it obnoxious, too. Like, oh!
Oh, solo mio. Well, folks, we're going to be listening to a interview that President Trump did. There had been one version of it floating around, and a lot of people have been kind of nitpicking at it, saying some things about him not answering questions directly, or a bunch of questions surrounding what he actually spoken about. And you would think that by now, people like 60 Minutes and CNN or Fox even would understand that if you put out selective and misleading clips, that by now he petty enough to sue you to make you release the whole thing. And let's be honest, Trump know how to make money. He he gonna get that bag from you if you don't play the whole thing. And so it was finally released, the entirety of the interview. And if you guys had not caught it, at least the 25-minute one, this is not a old interview. This is new as of this year. So it's already at 1,500,000 views on 60 Minutes after 22 hours.
Wow.
So it's got some info in there, and there's a line. It's going to be at 1.5 speed because it's a long interview, but we may not get through the whole of it. But it's at 1.5 speed. Do not complain to me that why are they talking so quickly? They are talking quickly so that we're not here till tomorrow morning. It's still slow enough for you to understand him because he does talk at a medium pace. Okay, so okay. Here we go.
What did you get out of this deal that you wanted?
Well, I got sort of everything that we wanted. We got no rare earth threat. That's gone, completely gone. We have tremendous amounts of dollars pouring in because we have very big tariffs, almost 50%. We never had anything in terms of tariffs, although I put tariffs on China, but Biden let it lapse by the fact that he gave exemptions on almost everything, which was just ridiculous. But we have billions and billions of dollars coming in, and we have a very good relationship. I mean, we have a great relationship with a powerful country. And I've always felt if we can make deals that are good, it's better to get along with China than not. If you can't make the right kind of a deal, then not. Because, China, along with many other countries, they're not alone in this. They've ripped us off from day one. They've ripped us so much. They've taken trillions of dollars out of our country. And now it's the opposite. I mean, we're doing very well with China, and hopefully they're going to do very well with us.
Now, let's get into this whole tariff thing. People are of the opinion that tariffs are bad. Because Trump, not because understand tariff. Trump say tariff, we say bad. Tariff, we don't know either bad or good, but Trump say tariff, so tariff bad. Not quite sure that's how that works. But by the dollar amount, if you make people have to do things here, the natural progression is that here would benefit more than somewhere else. I don't see how this is. Maybe it's just me. Am I just not? I'm not dumb enough to understand it, or is it? I'm wrong. You tell me.
No, you're right. Trump's always talked about America first, and we're only going to do things that benefit our own country. So, like you said, no matter what Trump says, Trump could talk about he found the cure for cancer that was hidden under the Vatican in one of the catacombs, and we're going to release it. People will get upset that he went into the catacombs to get the cure for cancer. So a lot of people
skull number 593 is what it was.
It'd be something, so a lot of people just, like you said, it's just Trump said it, it's bad. We don't care how it benefits the country. It's because he came up with the idea. He's the one enforcing what we should have always gone by in this country, tariffs. This is how we started with tariffs, and they're just going to hate it because he did it.
Yeah. But he's going to go into some great details of some other things too, which is really good.
But I do think it's important that China and the U.S. get along, and we get along very well at the top.
This trade war, though, was hurting Americans. I mean, our soybean farmers, China had stopped buying the soybeans.
Yeah.
China was withholding these rare earth materials that you need for everything from smartphones to build submarines.
Sure.
What was the crucial thing? I mean, how tough of a
Well, when you
negotiator
say
was
hurting,
President
it was a temporary hurt. It was a hurt because I was taking in a lot of money from China. We were doing very well against China. And all of a sudden they said, we have to fight back. And so they used their powers. The power they have is rare earth because of the fact that they've been accumulating it and really taking care of it for a period of 25, 30 years. Other countries haven't. They use that against us. And we used other things against them. For instance, airplane parts. That's a big deal. They have hundreds of Boeing airplanes. We wouldn't give them parts. We were both acting maybe a little bit irrationally. But the big thing we had was tariffs, ultimately. I said, look, if you don't open up, then what we're going to do is we're going to impose a 100% tariff over and above what you're already paying. And as soon as I said that, they came to the table. We met in South Korea, as you saw. Right? A lot of people watched. And we made a really good deal. And it was good for them also, I hope. I mean,
Now, it's what you call hardball. Okay. It's what you call hardball.
We're seeing a world leader actually world leadering.
World leadering.
Mhm.
World leadering. The problem I see here, these people, they honestly believe that what they have been told by the prior administration is gold.
Mhm.
They really do. And it's not like at all, provably not true. But at the same time, when you hear him speak about what you have to do, so okay, it's no different than going to the gym. You go and you go hurt for a few days, like bad, especially if you've been putting this off
Mhm.
for a while. When you
Mhm.
finally go there and you do something, oh Lord, it hurts.
Yeah, it's gonna.
And then you got to
spoil us.
decide, well, I don't want to have this hurt, so I'm just not going to go back to the gym. Or you can man up and just go back the next day, suffer through it again, and by day 3, you're feeling fine.
Mhm.
Majority of people wanted him to go to just day 1, get all the pain and get mad at the pain, and then leave the pain alone so it doesn't hurt anymore. But you wouldn't have the growth that you have if you don't go through some of the turmoil that you had to go through, especially when you're trying to come back from a place where people put you where you're not increasing. And that's exactly what the prior administration had done.
Yeah, and I was going to say something like that. It's like when you walk into a dirty house, it's not livable until you do what? Things aren't going to get better until you do what? You're going to walk in that house and you're going to clean that house.
Yeah.
Once you clean that house, things will start getting better. So, like you said, they just want him to magically wave a wand and everything be, hunky dory.
Yeah, that's not how it works at all.
I want it to be good for both sides, but we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in the form of tariffs. Tariffs are incredible because they really give us great national security. As an example, when they pulled the rare earth on us and the rest of the world, if we didn't have tariffs to fight back, I immediately instituted a 100% tariff over and above what they were already paying. And when I did that, they immediately came to the table. Without tariffs, we would not have had that privilege. We would have not have had that right. Tariffs give us national security and great wealth.
You talked about those rare earth minerals. Of course, my understanding is about 90% of them come from China. That's
Right
their,
now,
yeah.
but within a short period of time, we'll have everything we need for ourselves. We've instituted an emergency program, and we will have, within a year from now to a year and a half, we'll have everything we need, no matter what kind of a threat is made.
How do we do that?
Because we've taken over. First of all, you saw the partnerships we've established with Japan, with Australia, with UK, with just about everybody, frankly, and we're all doing it together. This wasn't a threat against the United States. This was really a threat against the world. So the whole world has come together, I think, at our behest. And rare earths, within 2 years, rare earths will really cease to be a problem.
The one thing that China wants, but it doesn't have, is the world's most advanced semiconductors.
That's right.
That's what the United States has. Will you
Chips, in particular.
Chips, that's right. Will you allow the chip maker NVIDIA to sell their most advanced chips to China?
No, we won't do that.
It's not on the table.
Here's the thing, right? People keep telling us all over the place that you can't govern a nation the same way you govern a corporation. Yet at the same time, here we are pulling business moves from the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal, and we're winning. I don't see the problem here.
Well, you don't see a problem because the logic for you logics, not everybody logics. Okay.
No, I have to emote. Is that what it is? Gotcha.
The big thing that they want to push on you that he does is that he grandstands. Well, let's put it like this. If you are the superpower and you've been that for forever. And the way that other people come up is on your coattails, and then they decide to play froggy one time and to try and bully you because they think they've arrived, like little brother syndrome. Okay. And big brother decides that he's just going to give you what you want, kind of like what the last administration did. And then big brother just gives in, and then little brother thinks, oh, I got big brother over the ropes. But then big brother changes his mind, and big brother decides, you know what, man, I think that's enough. I think you've abused my privilege as the older brother long enough, and you start to think that you've arrived, and we can't have that no more. And little brother decides he's gonna still try and act up, and then big brother gets up and then plow 360 slap across the bow. Now little brother be like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
That's true.
That's what happened.
And that's one way to get anyone to comply, whether it's just normal citizens like you and I, or big countries, big corporations, is you got to hit them in the pockets. The minute their money starts, getting affected in some way, shape, or form, they're going to listen. They're going to come to the table and follow instructions like good little second placers.
Yeah, precisely.
We will let them deal with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the prime company in the world for that. And we will let them deal with NVIDIA, but not in terms of the most advanced. The most advanced, we will not let anybody have them other than the United States.
Because then they would win the AI race.
Well, they wouldn't win it necessarily, but they would certainly have an equal advantage. Right now, we're winning it because we're producing electricity like never before by allowing the companies to make their own electricity, which was my idea, which nobody, frankly, had thought of. These massive plants that are being built are building their own electric generating plants along with the plant itself, and that gives them all the electric they need without going to an old grid that's 150 years old, and they're making it themselves, and then they're selling back any excess electricity into the grid. So we benefit in all ways, but most importantly, it allows the companies to go immediately forward. We're getting approvals done in 2 and 3 weeks. It used to take 20 years, and we are leading the AI race right now by a lot. We are leading it by numbers that people have no idea. It's been really great. We've been very, very far-reaching for it. Look, that's the new internet. That's the new everything all put together. The AI race is a big deal.
Now, power. In a lot of ways, people don't want to hear this, but independent power is going to be the thing that will end up saving America's economy, America's place in the world, for at least a little bit longer yet. When we become energy independent, we won't have to depend on anybody to try and help us out. They will have to depend on us, because the more independent we are, the more resourceful we are. The more resourceful we are, the more things we can get done. The more things we get done, the more growth we have, and the more growth we have, the more envious people will be, and the quicker they'll come to us to get stuff done.
Which means we have international pull and leverage in order for us to be able to get what we need done. Like, for instance, keep your terrorists back on your borders.
Yep. Precisely. Now, if this is just me, if I were to suggest anything for power anywhere, if I were to, I would suggest hydro, not wind, hydro. It's an amazing process, and we depend on it here a lot in Washington State. And our power is fairly cheap, fairly cheap. It varies from city to city, but for the most part, and I'll tell you, hydro is crazy good. So, just a suggestion, Mr. President. Hear me out. Just suggested. Okay.
Mr. President, you just negotiated this 1-year trade deal with China. But as you know, the Chinese, they think in 100 years. Sure. They play the long game, including on our own soil.
We play the long game, too.
Our own intelligence agencies say the Chinese have.
I just, I'm a huge fan of how straightforward he is. He's not going to let anyone say someone's doing better than America. He goes, no, we're doing it too. No, we're better. No, we're faster. That's the type of president that we need. We need the one that's going to say, no, America's the best at everything. Regardless of what people think, he's still putting us out there saying that, no one's going to beat us in that. No, we're better.
It's with a quickness he comes back. He comes with a quickness. He comes back.
He didn't even finish your statement before he came in.
Nope. Straight out the gut. But ow.
infiltrated parts of the American power grid and their water systems. They steal American intellectual property and Americans' personal information. They bought American farmland.
Can we pause?
How big of a
Can we
threat is
pause?
China?
So you have a 60-minute reporter here admitting to the reality that China steals U.S. made IPs. Where was this energy 4, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
Genuine question there. Absent is the word I would think you're looking for. It was
Very.
absent. Yeah.
But now all of a sudden, because Trump's in office and he's getting stuff done for the second time, this 60-minute employee, where let's be clear, 60 Minutes has not been the most benevolent news source for President Trump over the course of his few years. So now all of a sudden, she literally asserts what we've known all along for the last decade, that China steals U.S. made IPs, and she's admitting that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think after that, what, Barbara Walters, who interviewed him and he walked out? I forget.
I think it wasn't that? No, it wasn't Walters. It was somebody else.
He walked out on her, so I think they kind of learned. Who was it?
It was
Jeff?
the other 60 Minutes reporter. She was the older lady.
Yeah, and he walked out on her. And I think they're at the point now to where they understand that Trump's not going to let them come in here and lie, for one, and make things up. They have to be a straight shooter with him, because if they don't, he's going to make them look like fools on camera by coming with the truth.
Crazy work.
It's like everybody else. We're a threat to them too. Many of the things that you say, we do to them. Look, this is a very competitive world, especially when it comes to China and the U.S. And we're always watching them, and they're always watching us. In the meantime, I think we get along very well, and I think I think we can be bigger, better, and stronger by working with them as opposed to just knocking them out. The economy, they can produce things that we don't want to produce because it's not really worth our while. Making undergarments, making this, certain things. We don't want to do that, and we can buy them inexpensively from other places in the world, while we can lead the world in AI and chips and lots of other things. Within 2 years from now, we'll have 40 or 50% of the chip market. What's happening? The biggest companies are leaving Taiwan. They're coming into the United States because of tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, they wouldn't be doing it.
In how many years you think we'll be
I think in
producing?
2 years, we'll start opening up plants, and we'll have a very substantial portion of the chip market. Right now, we have almost none. We should have had 100%. If we had presidents that knew anything about business or knew what they were doing, because frankly, they didn't. We lost 50% of our automobile business. It's all coming back. We lost 100% of the chip. It used to be all Intel and other companies. And what happened is other countries came in and they stole our chip business, and we didn't charge tariffs. If we
Big. I don't care what y'all say. Those are facts. I don't care what y'all say. Those are. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all remember the Intel commercials?
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw one?
Oh, God.
I rest my case. When was the last time you saw an Intel commercial? Look, I used to work at Intel, at least for them, when they were doing infrastructure and all that stuff, right? I helped build one of their facilities out here in Washington State. That particular place, no longer there. Crazy stuff. And I'm talking about this facility was a 10-acre facility. 10 acres gone. That's crazy work. Now, coming back, man, look, I can't complain about that. I can't complain about that.
would have charged, let's say, a 100% tariff, none of those companies would have left, but they all left. Now they're all coming back, Nora, because the only way they avoid the tariffs is to build in our country. If they build in our country, make their plant and make their product in our country, then it's a very simple thing. They don't have any tariff to pay, and that's what they want to do. And so instead of charging somebody a 100% tariff and you can make your product outside, they come in and they make, and this is why we have $17 trillion being invested in the United States right now. Just to show you how big that is, it's the biggest in history by many times. No other country's seen anything like it. The Biden administration in 4 years did less than $1 trillion. We have $17 trillion, more than $17 trillion right now, and I'm in my 9th month. By the time we finish up, I think we're going to have over $20 trillion invested in the United States, or to be invested.
How will that trickle down to the average worker?
Because of jobs, because they're building.
Duh.
He's so quick on the tongue, man. And he's not scripted. You know, if you had a Joe Biden, you know, George Bush, any of those,
come on, man,
acting politicians, presidents, it would have been very scripted answers. Well, you know, the American people, they love money, and it's our job. You know how they talk. So I mean, he's just very honest and very straight to the point. You know, I like that.
Look. How is that a question? How is that going to trickle down? Jobs. I would have said jobs, dummy. Duh. What, you're remedial? You don't know that that produces jobs? If you have more businesses here, that means more. What? Demand for labor equals what? Jobs. See, that's why I couldn't be president. I'd be too snide.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? This is a journalist who should have open access information to be able to research her deal, and then come to the conclusion that, you know what, this kind of sort of makes sense. A plus B equals C. 1 plus 2 equals 3, kind of thing. And it's like you're sitting there and ask the stupidest question from a journalistic standpoint of how will this trickle down to the American economy, and it doesn't occur to you as a journaltard.
And the thing is, these journalists have studied Trump for how many years now? Going on 10 years. He's been all over their news stations, talked about him horribly. They should have him figured out by now. She should have known, like Jay was saying, she should have known how he was going to answer that.
The reason that they are unused to him having an answer for things is because they're used to people just kind of floating the American, like you said, Jay, the American people are looking for what they're looking for. And when we find what they're looking for, we'll help them look for it. And so they're looking. And so we have 2 eyes to see with them. And that's what we're here for, is to help them see. So how's it going to help them? Well, you see, blue is a color. And because it's a color, everyone needs to see blue.
Yeah, that's true.
Orange.
That is true. Sounds like Kamala,
What?
Plants. We're bringing back the auto industry into our country. We lost 58% of the automobile manufacturing business to other countries. We used to be the king of automobile and automobile manufacturing, and now we're not really the king anymore, as you know. Within a year and a half, 2 years, we're going to be the king again. We're going to, as an example, I was also in Japan, as you know, in South Korea. We had the biggest Japanese companies are investing billions of dollars of building auto plants in the United States. If I weren't elected, we would be losing all of these jobs. We would be losing far more of the auto industry. We would be nowhere in chips. Our country would have been bankrupt, and we would have had a bigger welfare roll. They would have expanded welfare and forgotten about everything else. Now we're building a country that's going to be so strong. I don't know if you saw the last numbers in terms of employment. They're all non-government jobs, not just government. Government jobs are easy. I could immediately do anything I want with government jobs. I just say we're going to add on 1 million government jobs, and you're going to say, oh, what wonderful numbers. They don't mean anything. We are building jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. But
let me touch on. We got to touch on that one real quick. That would you call that? Would that be what you call packing the numbers, fudging it? The government. Hey, the Biden administration added over 2 million jobs in this year alone. 2 million jobs that the average citizen cannot get. And I mean, they're not actual jobs that are working jobs. They're just available jobs by the market saying we have a job opening.
Right.
2 million of them. Are they filled? We have 2 million jobs, new jobs.
Or a lot of those jobs are just jobs on paper.
Yes.
As you see, DC and all these major cities where they have these government-owned, rented buildings, and no one's in them. But in those buildings and in all those seats, there's a job tied to that building, but no one's in there.
Right.
when all of these plants that are currently under construction and to be under construction when they open, we're going to have an economy like our country has never seen before, the strongest economy in the world. We're doing very well. By the way, the stock market just hit, perfect timing for your show, just hit an all-time high. We're doing really well.
Can I ask you, Mr. President, on that point, though, when the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested in the stock market.
It does.
But there have been grocery prices are up.
Hold on. I gotta, let's back it up real quick. I'm gonna show you something. Just listen.
To be under construction when they open, we're going to have an economy like our country has never seen before, the strongest economy in the world. We're doing very well. By the way, the stock market just hit, perfect timing for your show, just hit an all-time high. We're doing really well.
Can I ask you, Mr. President, on that point, though, when the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested in the stock market.
It does.
But there have been grocery prices are up.
401ks, people have 401ks. Their 401ks are double what they were a year ago.
But for people that don't have 401ks.
Now you see how she keeps moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
First, it was a stock market, and everybody has stock market. Okay, it does affect. Okay, but 401k. Okay, well the 401. Now hear me out. Do you remember when you first got in, how they were all touting this idea of people's 401k, people's 401k? People, they didn't care about the differentiation between who had and who didn't have. It was all about the 401k going downhill, and then they were talking about how, oh no, everything is going downhill because of this, and then stock market. You remember when the stock market was crashing? Look what Trump is doing to the everyday citizen with the stock market. Now, it's not doing so hot, so bad, and all of a sudden now, well, the stock market doesn't affect everybody. So just because it's doing better doesn't mean that the average Joe is going to be affected. And just
Right.
because the 401k is doing better doesn't mean that every. Come on, people.
I mean, and name something outside of breathing that affects everybody.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people I'd prefer to. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that.
Say it. Say it.
No breathing for you. You
Got
know, get
here.
no, yeah.
Stealing all the
White man's air.
white man's air.
That's a perfect face, too. That's the face you make when, like, ah, crap, I stepped in it.
Yeah. She's sweating.
401ks were not invested in the stock market.
but
They've
it-
seen their grocery prices go up. Inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden.
See that right there, that journalistic disingenuous, just lack of journalistic integrity right there is just phenomenal to me.
He claps back. It's on point all the time, ready.
Going down, other than beef, which we're working on, which we can solve very quickly. So the ranchers have really taken a drubbing over a 30-year period. Because of what I've done, the ranchers have done well. But with that, the beef price went up a little bit. We're going to get the beef price down very quickly. It'll be very nice, just like eggs. When I first took over, eggs were double, triple, quadruple what they were. This was because of Biden. All of these problems were caused by Biden.
Now, anybody here complain about eggs yet?
No, actually, I'm.
Now, when was
overjoyed.
the last time you heard them lefties saying about eggs? What's Trump going to do about eggs? Now he finally fixed eggs. You only talking about eggs no more?
They'll be talking about beef next.
Huh? No? Y'all don't got nothing to say about the no? Huh? Okay. I mean, I'm just
asking questions.
Just asking questions. That's all.
Whether it's the people that came into our country through jails, I mean, they were released from jails, they were released from mental institutions into our country. These problems are caused by Biden. We had an open border. Now we have a border that's, as you know, absolutely shut, other than people are allowed to come into our country, but they have to come in legally.
I do want to talk about immigration and some other domestic issues, but just if we could stay on China for just a moment. One potential flashpoint with China, probably the potential flashpoint with China in the coming years, is over the issue of Taiwan. The Chinese military is encroaching on Taiwan's sea lanes, its airspace, its cyberspace. I know you have said that Xi Jinping wouldn't dare move militarily on Taiwan while you're in office. But what if he does? Would you order U.S. forces to defend Taiwan?
You'll find out if it happens. And he understands the answer to that.
I like that. I'm not gonna show you all my cards.
And you know, he was very smart about that, because if he would have said something about, if they attack Taiwan, we're sending ground forces and we're going to bomb the crap out of them, then they would have said, oh, the anti-war president. Now he wants to bomb, China and all this other stuff. So good on him. You'll see. I like that answer. You'll see.
Why not say
This
it?
never even came up yesterday as a subject. He never brought it up. People were a little surprised at that. He never brought it up because he understands it, and he understands it very well.
Do you mind if I ask, when you say he understands, why not communicate that publicly to the rest of us? What does he
Because I don't
understand?
want to I can't give away my secrets. I don't want to be one of these guys that tells you exactly what's going to happen if something happens. The other side knows, but I'm not somebody that tells you everything because you're asking me a question, but they understand what's going to happen. And he has openly said, and his people have openly said at meetings, we would never do anything while President Trump is president because they know the consequences.
Less than an hour.
Oh, look, y'all can say what you want, okay? It's baffling to me how they keep wanting to talk about people like, what's his name, the Secretary of War, and him leaking on Signal. Yet and still, when they ask him questions, they want him to divulge to the world all his secret plans that he has in the military and what he's going to strike, where he's going to. Aren't you all the ones concerned about people knowing what the U.S. is going to do? Why not just tell all of us? Tell all of us. Why? You're the one that complained when we do tell you why, and now you want us to tell you why, so you can complain that, oh, President Trump laid all his cards on the table and he cost lives of the military.
Right.
Did you hear that, troops? He's not even paying you with this government shutdown, and he's talking about sending you guys to war with China. That's how they would spin it.
That is crazy, bro. That's crazy.
before your meeting with President Xi, you posted on social media that you instructed the, quote, Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons
right.
immediately. What did you mean?
Well, we have more nuclear weapons than any other country. I think we should do something about denuclearization. And I did actually discuss that with both President Putin and President Xi. We have enough nuclear weapons to blow up the world 150 times. Russia has a lot of nuclear weapons, and China will have a lot. They have some. They have quite a bit.
So why do we need to test our nuclear weapons?
Well, because you have to see how they work. You know, you do have to. And the reason I'm saying testing is because Russia announced that they were going to be doing a test. If you notice, North Korea is testing constantly. Other countries are testing. We're the only country that doesn't test, and I don't want to be the only country that doesn't test.
Are you saying that after more than 30 years, the United States is going to start detonating nuclear weapons?
I'm saying that we're going to test nuclear weapons like other countries do, yes.
But the only country that's testing nuclear weapons is North Korea. China and Russia.
No, Russia's testing
So
nuclear weapons.
my understanding,
And China's testing them too, you just don't know about it.
that would
Look at her face. That's the face of.
I can't control him.
I-
That's the face.
Yep.
That is crazy work to me. Like, honestly, that is some twisted logic that she's using. Really twisted logic. Okay. I just wish that you would decide on one way or the other what you actually want to know from the president. Like honestly, if he's telling you that yes, there is definitely testing going on, you don't you think he would know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Anyway.
Well, this has always been the problem with the media. The media has always got in front of Trump and many presidents, acting like they know more about what's going on in the country than the president. And the man that makes all these decisions, especially when it comes to the military, next to the Secretary of War, would know exactly what China's doing, what Russia's doing, because they're getting direct information.
That's trippy.
be certainly very newsworthy. My understanding is what Russia did recently was test essentially the delivery systems for nuclear weapons, essentially missiles, which we can do that, but not with nuclear weapons.
Russia's testing and China's testing, but they don't talk about it. You know, we're a open society. We're different. We talk about it. We have to talk about it because otherwise you people are going to report. They don't have reporters that are going to be writing about it. We do. No, we're going to test because they test and others test. And certainly North Korea's been testing. Pakistan's been testing.
Not nuclear weapons, is my understanding. North Korea has, but not nuclear
They
weapons.
don't go and tell you about it. And, you know, as powerful as they are, this is a big world. You don't necessarily know where they're testing. They test way underground where people don't know exactly what's happening with the test. You feel a little bit of a vibration. They test, and we don't test. We have to test. And Russia did make a, little bit of a threat the other day when they said they were going to do certain forms of a different level of testing. But Russia tests. China does test. And we're going to test also.
So we are
Doesn't
going
it
to
sort of make
we're-
sense? You know, you make nuclear weapons, and then you don't test. How are you going to do that? How are you going to know if they work? We have to do that.
Apparently, we don't need to test our nuclear weapons because they're the best in the world, according to.
Yo, what?
Good Lord.
The sheer lack of journalistic disingenuousness from this woman. Like,
I-
I don't understand. How does she have a job?
That don't make no bruh.
Experts I've spoken to.
According to me, we have the best, and I was the one that renovated them and built them during a 4-year period, and I hated to do it because the destructive capability is something you don't even want to talk about. But if other people are going to have them, we're going to have them. And if we have them, we have to test them. Otherwise, you don't really know how they're going to work. And we don't want to ever use them. And in the meantime, I've solved 8 wars. I knocked out 8 wars. I have 8 wars. I brought a little list for you if you'd like to see it. But I took 8 wars and stopped during an 8-month period. During 8 months before the 9th month, I stopped 8 wars. The only one I haven't been successful yet, and that'll happen, is Russia-Ukraine, which I thought actually would be the easiest one because I have a very good relationship with President Putin. But we are respected again as a country, and that's the way I've been able to stop the wars. I also stopped them because of trade.
Who's talking?
Hold on. I have a theory. I finally figured out. When he says a good relationship, I think what and this is giving them some benefits of the doubt, okay? I think what they're thinking is that he and Russia are just the best of friends and bosom buddies and nothing ever goes awry. A good relationship with a foreign power is this: you don't screw me over, I don't blow you up. I don't screw you over, you don't blow me up. We have a mutual understanding that we're both trying to help our country, but my country comes first. So if you bring something to me that does not benefit my country, I'm going to try and find a way to get me the best option possible for my country. That's a good understanding. Swear, bro.
So where was that energy in during Biden? Like, I mean, for what it's worth, Biden's been in office and he's been in politics in the United States for God knows how long, and that hasn't occurred to him during his presidency.
Apparently not.
Granted, he is a dementia monkey, so I'll give him that.
Truth, man, truth. What?
For to deal with Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping?
Both tough, both smart, both, look, they're both very strong leaders. These are people not to be toyed with. These are people you have to take very serious. They're not walking in saying, oh, isn't it a beautiful day? Look how beautiful the sun is shining. It's so nice. These are serious people. These are people that are tough, smart leaders.
And on that note, you talk about Ukraine. In August, I mean, you rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska, but there's been...
Well, I roll out the red carpet for everybody.
But there's been no
I think I made-
ceasefire.
No, yeah, there
Is
is,
he
because he
ignoring
thinks
you?
because I inherited a country where he thinks he's winning. That was a war that would have never happened if I was president.
So why
But that
won't
was
Putin
that
end
was
this war?
But Nora, that was Joe Biden's war, not my war. I inherited that stupid war. That should not have been a war. That would have never happened if I were
Facts.
president. And by the way, for 4
Facts.
years it didn't happen. There was never even a doubt. Then the election was rigged and stolen, and all of a sudden you see them forming up at the line. And now I come back and I'm going to get that one solved too. But I mean, just a little list of look at this, wars. How many did I solve? Cambodia. This is Cambodia, Thailand, Kosovo, Serbia. Congo, the Congo, and
man done brought a
Rwanda,
whole bunch
Pakistan
of
and India. That was going to be a beauty. They shot down 7 planes. Israel and Iran. You've heard about that one? Egypt and Ethiopia. That's another beauty. Ethiopia built a big dam where there's no water going to the Nile. Armenia and Azerbaijan. And if you take a look, Israel and Hamas, which is a rough little situation, but it's going to be.
I do want to talk about, I mean, you have branded yourself the peace president.
Well, I think I did pretty good. I solved, those are 8 of the 9 wars I solved. You know how I solved them? I said, in many cases, in 60%, I said, if you don't stop fighting, I'm putting tariffs on both of your countries and you're not going to be able to do
So
business
why
with
isn't
the
that,
United States.
why isn't
I can see. Look, I can see why they wouldn't want to put this whole thing out there. I can see why they. I can see what. Look, I'm going to give 60 Minutes its credit. Y'all are very smart, because if it were me, I wouldn't want to have my behind dragged like this. I wouldn't. I wouldn't want people to know that, one, I have the most ridiculous, remedial, brain dead female on staff trying to interview this man and have no clue what she's doing and getting absolutely demolished. I'm talking about whop, 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 whop. Whop, whop. She's getting smacked. I wouldn't put I would put as much edit as I could on this and dump out 5 minutes worth of it. I can understand it, and I don't blame you. I really don't. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm with you on this one. I'm glad that you did it. I am glad. I'm glad. Thank you for putting out the whole thing, but I understand why you did what you did. Can't blame you. Really can't.
that working with Putin?
It is working with Putin, I think. I did different with him because we don't do very much business with Russia, for one thing. He's not like somebody that buys a lot from us because of foolishness. And I think he'd like to be. I think he wants to come in and he wants to trade with us and he wants to make a lot of money for Russia. And I think that's great. That's
Can
what
we
I
get it
like.
done in a couple of months, do you
I
think?
think we're going to get it done, yeah. I think he really wants to do business with the U.S. But it did work with India, and it did work with Pakistan, and it did work with 60% of those countries. I can tell you, if it wasn't for tariffs and trade, I wouldn't have been able to make the deals. But I stopped, as an example, India does a lot of business with us. They were going to war. They were going to have a nuclear war with Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan stood up the other day, and he said, if Donald Trump didn't get involved, many millions of people would be dead right now. That was a bad war. It was ready to start.
Let's talk
Shut down
about-
airplanes all over the place. That was going to be a bad war. And I told both of them, I said, if you guys don't work out a deal fast, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And they do a lot of business with the United States. And they were both great leaders, and they worked out a deal and they stopped the war. That would have been a bad war. It would have been a nuclear war.
I want to stay on the
Now, hear me out. Sometimes you got to work around what you got, right? If two people are fighting over a ball and it ain't their ball, just take the ball.
I mean, yeah.
just take the ball. And then they be like, okay, fine. We won't fight no more. And you can give them back the ball. But you monitor the ball. Anyone starts to act up, take the ball again. I work with kids. I mean, it should work with cantankerous adults too. I'm just saying.
issue of foreign policy, and let's turn to our hemisphere. There have been at least 8 boats in the Caribbean destroyed by the U.S. military.
Fortunately.
And now the USS Gerald Ford, that is the world
The Trumpisms are amazing.
Oh Lord. Oh,
Holy moly.
bro. He can't help it. He can't help it. He can't help it. He can't help it. Can't help it. He just can't help it.
largest aircraft carrier on the way to the Caribbean. Are we going to war against Venezuela?
I doubt it. I don't think so. But they've been treating us very badly, not only on drugs. They've dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country that we didn't want. People from prisons, they emptied their prisons into our country. They also, if you take a look, they emptied their mental institutions and their insane asylums into the United States of America because Joe Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. We had the worst inflation, we had the worst of everything. But the worst thing he did was allow millions of people to come into our country that were in many cases, criminals, murderers. 11,888 murderers were let into our country. Venezuela let a lot of those people in, but they were from all over the world. This isn't just Venezuela. They were from all over the world.
We are going to talk
and
about
what he did to our country should never be forgotten. He had an open border process, and people would come in, and I'm not discriminating against tattoos, but people would come in with tattoos all over their faces and say, come on in, come on in, come on in. They let people in that should have never been. Venezuela emptied their prisons into the United States of America, and every one of those boats that you see shot down, and I agree, it's a terrible thing, but every one of those boats kills 25,000 Americans. Every single boat that you see that shot down kills 25,000 on drugs and destroys families all over our country.
Boom.
Oh my gosh. How do you I want to hear how she argues that.
Look, I ain't never seen Mike Tyson fight in real life, but I imagine her chin probably feeling like Mike Tyson whopped her once or twice right there. I guarantee she feel like she's in a world bout right now. George Foreman and Mike Tyson, all of them just blah, 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 blah. These people would much rather see a criminal live and 50 million Americans die. That's how worthless they are. That's why a commie to me isn't human. I'm going to say it right now. If you're a communist, socialist, you're not human. You're vermin. You're trash. Your brain don't work and your moral compass is gone. That's what I say to you.
And Marlon, do you really think they're upset that Trump took out these drug votes, or they're upset more that their kickbacks are gone? Because these politicians, these dark entities that are within our government, they get kickbacks from a lot of these drug sales, from the cartels and all these big drug lords out there. So I think they're more upset about that.
Facts.
We will talk about immigration in a moment, but I just
Yo, she's floundering.
Let's talk about immigration.
Just you put that to the side. We're not death. No,
Immigrants.
No, immigrant. No, $5 footlong.
want to talk about the scale of the military operation around Venezuela, because it has been described to 60 Minutes as using a blowtorch to cook an egg. Is this about stopping?
I don't think so. Look.
Is it about, let me ask you though, is it about stopping narcotics, or is this about getting rid of President Maduro?
No, this is about many things. This is a country that allowed their prisons to be emptied into our country. To me, that would be almost number one, because
We
we
don't
have
need
other
to blow up
countries.
boats in order
Look,
to do it.
Mexico has been very bad to us in terms of drugs, okay? Very bad. We have a closed border right now. You probably noticed that for 5 months in a row, they have zero, think of this, zero people coming into our country through our southern border. And it was millions of people a year, just a little more than a year ago. Millions of people a year walked into our country, totally unchecked, unvetted. We had no idea who they were. And we're never going to let that happen again. That's what made Biden the worst president. Because you know what? Inflation, I've already taken care of. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country, and now we don't have inflation. It's at 2%. It's the perfect inflation. But what made him so bad? Well, the weaponization of law enforcement, all that. Look, he was bad in every way. But the worst thing that he did is allow millions and millions and millions of people to pour into our country, unvetted, unchecked. And they were criminals, they were murderers, they were drug dealers, they were people from jails and people from mental institutions.
You have had
I don't know what you want him to say. Tell me what the lie is. When was the last time you heard of people just getting ate on the street, beaten up on the street by a criminal illegal? Now they're afraid because ICE going to absolutely just beat them to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time we heard anything about the border? I mean, the border was all over the news during, Biden's administration and the beginning of Trump's administration. But if you really think about it, when was the last time you heard anything about the southern border? Outside of ICE raids and all that stuff. I'm talking about the border itself.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Months. Ironically, probably around the same time he popped in. Hey, coincidental, of course.
success on immigration. I want to talk about that in a minute, but on Venezuela in
Big
particular,
success.
on Venezuela in particular, on Maduro's days as president number.
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
I love it.
Keep that uppercut coming, bro.
And this issue of potential land strikes in Venezuela, is that true?
I don't tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying it's true or untrue, but I wouldn't,
Why would
I
we
wouldn't
do
be
it?
inclined to say that I would do that. But because I don't talk to a reporter about whether or not I'm going to strike. I'm not going to, you're a wonderful reporter. You're very talented. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with Venezuela, if I was going to do it or if I wasn't going to do it.
Why do we need an aircraft carrier and strike group?
It's got to be somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
It's a big one.
They don't like that, man.
It's got to be somewhere.
They don't like that at all.
It's got to be somewhere. I don't know how that's difficult, people. It's got to be somewhere. Man,
It leads to the suggestion that the United States military is planning a larger operation involving Venezuela.
Well, we're not going to allow countries from, it's countries from all over the world coming in. They come in from the Congo, where we just settled that war. But they come in from the Congo. They come in from all over the world. They're coming, not just from South America. But Venezuela in particular has been bad. They have gangs, Tren de Aragua. Do you ever hear of it?
Of course.
The most vicious gang anywhere in the world. They cut people's hands off if they call up the cops. They call up the police. And they said, did you call the police? Yes, I did. You took my apartment. You live in my building. You took my apartment. They cut his hand off. Don't ever call the police again.
I
These are
fully
animals. Wait a minute. And they came in from Venezuela. Worst gang, probably the worst gang, most vicious gang in the world. And you know what I did in Washington, D.C.? We had a lot of them. We took care of business. They're gone. Washington, D.C. right now is a very safe place, as it should be. Washington, D.C., before I got here, was almost like a crime capital of the world. It's the capital of this country. To me, it's the capital of the world. You see the way they treat me. I go to Japan. I go to South Korea. I go to China. Any place I go. And you know what I call that? Respect for our country. They didn't treat Biden that way. When Biden went there, first of all, he hardly went anywhere. The guy couldn't leave his bedroom. But they didn't treat Biden that way. They had no respect for Biden, falling up the stairs, going to an airplane 3 times. I mean, this is a man who should have never been president. This was a rigged election. And we have to get back. We have to get to the bottom of that also, because we don't want that to ever happen again.
Oh, man. And to her aircraft carrier question, there is something called a show of force. Doesn't mean we're going to war. Doesn't mean we're attacking someone. It's a show of force to anyone that's trying to come in our country through the waters around Venezuela that wants to do harm. So if you have an aircraft carrier out there, it's showing those people like, hey, they're watching. Same with submarines that are floating all around the Atlantic and the Pacific. No different.
This guy.
See what's going on. We don't ever want that to happen again. Look what happened to our country by having Biden as the president. Our country went to hell. And if we had another couple of years, if Kamala had won the election, our country right now would be finished. It was a dead country. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We have the strongest stock market. We have everybody wants to come in. A year ago, we were a dead country. Right now, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. Think of that. And I did that in 9 months. And it's only going to get better.
That's what you call walking up to the mirror and just doing the... He doing what bro doing the job. Flex that bad boy. I don't got it no more to flex, but he doing it.
Let's talk about Israel. You got the remaining Israeli hostages out of Gaza. You arranged a ceasefire, however fragile that may be. Those are
It's
major.
not fragile.
They can't help. Look, they cannot help, but they can't see anything good.
No.
Nothing. There ain't. Look, I'll tell you now. I don't care what he do. He will never, ever, ever, ever do anything right. Never. Oh, it's fragile. Oh, it's definitely fragile, man. Come on, President. Say it's fragile. Y'all are... Anyway.
Very solid. I mean, you hear about Hamas, but Hamas could be taken out immediately if they don't behave. They know that. If they don't behave, they're going to be taken out immediately.
How do you get Hamas to disarm?
He just said, dummy. How bro. Look, I can understand now. I now fully understand. I'm asking for forgiveness from all of the people, the males in certain manospheres who thought women were stupid. And y'all women need to keep idiots like this out of your periphery. They giving you a bad name. This right here is a stupid woman.
Yes.
Marlon, you know what she wants to hear so bad from Trump? The word war. She wants him to say that so bad, and he's not going to say it.
That is crazy work, bro. Like, there's some things I have been, I get baffle me. This one completely baffles me. He just told you what it was, and are you still asking the same question?
If I want them to disarm, I'll get them to disarm very quickly. They'll be eliminated. They know that. Don't forget, you said I got the remaining hostages. I got all the hostages out. But I always said the last 10 or 20 are going to be tough. But we were tough also, and they let them all out.
You were
and
tough.
now, by the way, they're getting a lot of the bodies are coming out too. Do you know, a lot of the parents, it's very interesting, were the people that lost their child mostly sons, but sons and daughters. They knew they were dead in some cases. Do you know that they were as anxious or even more anxious of getting their child out, even though they knew it was a body that we were dealing with, than the people that had a living child, living, breathing child that they knew they were alive, if barely, because the way they lived was so horrible. And you saw yesterday 4 more just came out. We're going to get them out too. They're buried in many cases. They're buried under rubble, but we pretty much know where they were. But I didn't get just the 20 out. I got all of the hostages out.
You pushed the Israeli prime minister to make this deal,
Yeah.
to get a ceasefire, to apologize to Qatar. Can you push Bibi Netanyahu to recognize a Palestinian state?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Look, he's a wartime prime minister. I worked very well with him. Yeah, I mean, I had to push him a little bit one way or the other. I think I did a great job in pushing him. He's a very talented guy. He's a guy that has never been pushed before, actually. That's the kind of person you needed in Israel at the time. It was very important. I don't think they treat him very well. He's under trial for some things that I don't think they treat him very well. I think it should, we'll be involved in that to help him out a little bit because I think it's very unfair. I did. I pushed him. I didn't like certain things that he did, and you saw what I did about that. I also stopped, we knocked the hell out of Iran, and then it was time to stop, and we stopped. Iran wants to make a deal. They don't say that, and they probably shouldn't say no good deal maker would, but Iran very much wants to make a deal. The key to Middle East peace, I made Middle East peace for 3,000 years. They couldn't do it. I did it, and I did it with some very good partners in Israel. But the key to the Middle East peace was knocking the hell out of their potential nuclear. When we, with those
Now, listen, y'all can say all you want about Trump being in the back pocket of Netanyahu. I ain't never seen a back pocket kick nobody in the behind.
Yeah.
Look, all you have, I get that's what you feel and that's what you believe and all that crap. I get, and you go into the whole idea, oh, it's biblical and biblical. You ain't finding none of that stuff in the Bible. Stop lying, and especially stop lying on God. Y'all worthless for doing that. You can't find it nowhere in the so-called scriptures that you say you read. It's not in there, first of all, so I don't know what you're looking for. But secondarily, if he was in the back pocket of Netanyahu again has to be one of the most worthless, weakest persons out there to be spoken to the way Trump speaks to him.
Mm-hmm.
Who's really in charge, Netanyahu or him? Oh, he funds. Y'all had no issue. So, okay, let me ask a question. Was Biden in Ukraine's back pocket? Huh?
Well,
No, don't run now. Don't run now. Answer me the question. Was Biden in Ukraine's back pocket and bought by Ukraine? Yes or no? Y'all were giving them money like 40 going north, weren't you? Oh, it was a war. It's a war too in Israel. Talk to me again. Was Biden in Ukraine's back pocket? I mean, you got to keep everything equal, right? I'll agree with you if you agree with me. What'd you say?
I mean, by every metric, yeah, it has to be.
No, but y'all want to talk about, yeah, but Israel. Okay. All right, Israel.
Those beautiful B-2 bombers. We just ordered 20 brand new ones, the newest and the greatest. But with those beautiful B-2 bombers, when they went in there and they blew the hell out of that, potential nuclear weapon site, there were 2 of them actually, and every single missile hit every single air shaft. They had to go down an air shaft. Every single one of them hit their target. I remember fake news CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as powerful or as good as we thought. No, it was better. Turned out it was actually better. The Atomic Energy Agency said the hit was even stronger than anyone ever thought possible. And those pilots did a great job. What they were able to do, and those machines, but it wasn't only them. They were surrounded by F-22s and F-16s. They were surrounded by F-35s. We had 52 tanker planes loading them up with jet fuel because it was a long flight. They flew for 37 hours. Of course, I flew for 42 hours over the last few days, so I know how they feel. But they flew, but they were sitting in one seat. I was able to walk around a little bit. But yeah, they said 42 hours. I've been in the air for 42 hours over a few days, and that was fun because we took in trillions of dollars into our country. And we also, what's interesting? Japan took tremendous advantage of us over the years. They sold cars to us. We couldn't sell cars to them. They made a fortune. We didn't make anything. We lost money. But it's
same thing with Canada, by the way.
Yep.
Y'all love Canada. Canada did not like the U.S. They didn't like us. We couldn't do half the crap that they could do over here. And as soon as someone puts the foot down and say no more, oh, you're abusing our neighbors to the north. Trump is so wicked. Come on, man.
the exact opposite now. But you know what? They like us more now than they used to because they respect us now. They didn't used to respect us, and they have great respect for us. All of them, every country I saw, including China. China now has great respect for us. They didn't have respect for us when they had Biden and when they had Obama. Obama was a terrible president. Nobody wants to talk about it because they want to be politically correct. I don't care. He was a terrible president. Our country it really started a very bad downward spiral. Then I stopped it. Then we had a rigged election. And then what Biden did to our country should never, ever be forgotten.
We're still on foreign policy, so I just
No,
have another
I'm
question.
on
to
all
ask you.
policy. I'm
I
not
know
talking
you
about foreign. No. I'm talking about everything.
Well, I just
I'm
wanna-
talking about economy. I'm talking about
Boom. And don't try and relegate me to your pattern. I'm telling you
Exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
The people want to know everything. I'm telling them everything. You ain't gonna try and censor me, Miss Purple People Eater. It ain't happening. Ain't happening.
I wanted to ask you about the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is coming to the White House
That's right.
this month. He has said they won't join the Abraham Accords without a two-state solution. Do you believe that?
No, I think he's going to join. I think we will have a solution. I don't know if it's going to be two-state. That's going to be up to Israel and other people and me. But look, the main thing is you could have never had any kind of a deal if you had a nuclear Iran. And you essentially had a nuclear Iran. And I blasted the hell out of them. And no president
Are
is
you
going to
convinced
do
they
it.
have no nuclear capability right now?
Do you want to
Iran?
know? Do you want to know? They have no nuclear capability. No. Do you want to know that the pilots? I invited them to the White House because they
saw
were
that.
very brave. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to do it. Get in a plane and they know you're coming and you're going right into Iran airspace and they're very experts and you're flying in with machines. Personally, I can think of other things I'd rather do. These guys are very brave people. I mean, they're real American heroes. And they told me something I didn't know. They said, "Sir, for 22 years we've been practicing this route 3 times a year, every year for 22 years, and you were the only president that let us do our job."
Listen carefully. We had a president in Barack Obama who kept sending money over there. Everyone said that didn't happen. Did it for 8 years. Biden came in, he did it too. The one person that's destroying the whole plan, but y'all want to say he is the Antichrist, all this nonsense. You had 2 clowns doing more Antichrist crap. They weren't it. He shows up doing the complete opposite of what the Antichrist is supposed to do. He's the Antichrist. Y'all retarded. Like even if you're a friend of mine and you're one of those people that you're retarded to think that this dude is the Antichrist.
Mhm.
You're remedial. You don't read, and you definitely don't listen. You don't got 2 eyes. You don't got 2. You're dumb. Unfriend me, do whatever you go, but you're stupid to think that this is the one. You got a whole bunch of people pushing the queer agenda, this agenda, everything anti-Christ. But this is because Israel, man. Because Israel. Israel. Wow. I'm gonna let this run for 2 more minutes.
I said, "Let me ask you, is this a job you wanted to do?" "Yes, sir," because it was the right thing. These are really brave people. These are really amazing people and talented people. When you can hit at midnight with no moon, with no vision, every single air shaft where that bomb went deep into that mountain and exploded and beat the hell out of it, I'll tell you what, they deserve to come to the White House. I gave them all a medal. They deserve to come to the White House, and it was a pleasure to meet them. These are great people. We have great people in this country.
Mr. President, we talked about foreign policy. Now let's focus on issues here at home,
Okay,
some of that
sure.
you have already mentioned. We are now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault.
Under your presidency, we're talking about more than 1 million federal workers who are not getting a paycheck, including our air traffic controllers. You see there's traffic snarls out at the airports now. This weekend, food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. They've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, "Give us an extension, we'll work it out." They've lost their way. They've become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, "Let's vote." And you can the economy could open up during our interview.
Is there something you
Maybe
can
it
do,
did.
though? Is there something you
All I
can do to bring
is
this to
give
an
the
end?
facts. Here's what I can't do. I can't give them $1.5 trillion so that they can give welfare to people that came into our country illegally, so that prisoners and that people from mental institutions and people that are drug dealers get vast amounts of money for health care. That I can't do.
So my
What I can do is I can continue to run a great country. We have the best economy we've ever had. I can continue to do that. What they should do, look, this started a long time ago. I always said, and I've been very consistent, Obamacare is terrible. It's bad health care at far too high a price. We should fix that. We should fix it. And we can fix it with the Democrats. All they have to do is let the country open and we'll fix it.
But
They have to
ending
let
the
the
government
country
shutdown-
open and I'll sit down with the Democrats and we'll fix it. But they have to let the country, and
So
you know what they
your
have to
plan-
do? All they have to do is raise 5 hands. We don't need all of them.
But so you're saying your plan is to tell the Democrats to vote to end the shutdown?
Correct, very simple.
And that you will put forward a health care plan?
No, we will work on fixing the bad health care that we have. Right now, we have terrible health care at too expensive for the people. Not for the government, for the people.
But,
The
Mr. President, with all
people
due
are
respect,
paying-
you've been talking about fixing the health care
Sure,
insurance
and you
since
can't do it because of the
2015.
Democrats.
But
That's
since
right.
2015, you said you'd
I've been
fix it.
talking about it for a long time. We almost did it. We were 1 vote short. We would have had great health care. We were 1 vote short, and A couple of senators that we currently have made the mistake, and they made a big mistake. John McCain made a mistake, frankly. We were one vote short. We would have had great health care. And I've been saying ever since, we can fix it. It's too expensive. It's got two things. It's too expensive, and it's lousy health care. It's too expensive for the people. They're going to get a very big increase this year.
Well, they're going to get an
and it's
increase
because-
if you don't extend the subsidies.
No, but the subsidies is part of it. We're supposed to spend trillions of dollars to take care of something that is defective. What I'm saying is we can make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where is
And
that
I'd be
plan?
willing to
But
work
where's
with the
that plan?
Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden, and nobody can do that. Not one Republican would ever do that.
My understanding is if those healthcare subsidies are not extended, premiums will double for many of the people that are on it. And I was looking into
She's not listening, is she?
Nope.
Like, she's not even remotely listening to what he's saying because she's too intent on pushing whatever ridiculous mindset that she's trying to get out there that has nothing to do with reality.
Right.
Like he is telling her exactly what was going to happen to fix this and why it's not being fixed and how they can come together to talk. You just talk about what about and what the whataboutism doesn't work when we're actually dealing with reality here.
Mm-hmm. And a whataboutism's not going to work with Trump. She's trying to trip him up so she can get him in a gotcha moment. I got him right there. Then they're going to take whatever he said, twist it, and create a whole new news story about it.
And that's what they did with the 25-minute one.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And now we see exactly why he had to release the whole thing. Now, I would, if it were me, I'd sue them first and then make them release it. Sue them for about 50 million. Every time they do it, 50 million right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
Before too long, you're going to run out of money and you're going to start realizing, you know what, maybe I should stop doing this dumb stuff because it's bad for business. People are going to eventually find out the truth.
Who funds 60 Minutes? Where do they get their funding from?
CBS and then affiliates.
Okay. Well, you got to hit them in their pockets. That's the way to shut them down. With George Stephanopoulos. Got him.
Snuffy Luffagus.
Stephanopoulos, whatever.
Bird. We can make the economy open, bird. We got to get health care, bird.
Hey, bird.
Come on, man. Y'all are weird. And then comes Trump acting like an animal. Pow. See, I equate a lot of these people to Muppets. Bird.
Because that's what they act like sometimes. I mean, this woman acts like the Swedish chef. Right.
Trump. Weirdo. I think we'll do a part 2. We made it through half at 1.5 speed. Is pretty good. And we're going to do, hey, that looks exactly like Jay Lee. Y'all stop dogging my boy. That is exactly how he looks in real life.
That is true.
The camera takes about 5 shades off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm super dark. Bro is like the color of that background. Okay.
Yep.
The camera just makes us look lighter than we really are. Just
right.
get used to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Lee is like super, super light on camera, but he really actually dark. Okay. He darker. So we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll do that. And we'll cover part 2. And I have no doubt that part 2 will probably be more hilarious than the first half.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you could tell Trump's getting frustrated too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting frustrated. I'm not even in front of this bridge troll.
And look, by the way, for people who are wondering about Venezuela, my mom asked me about Venezuela this morning. I said I would not be upset if we did something to deal with Venezuela, because all the Venezuelans that leave there end up going places to destroy that place.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the last 10 years, easily, they've been migrating to places like my homeland in Trinidad, destroying the place, destroying it. They come in there and they think they're owed everything. So no, and they are doing drug runs all over the Caribbean. That's what they do. And then they not only just the Caribbean, their route is through Mexico and all the way up. So I have no problem with us intervening there because it is affecting us. This is where we actually have the government for, is for intervening into international affairs that are of national security. If you're killing American citizens by the crap you're sending in, we will nuke you. And I would not be mad if you did. I wouldn't. Replace Maduro. I don't care if you replace him, just take him. I wouldn't mind if you take him out. Let them figure out the replacement on their own. Take him out.
Right.
Because at this point, he is enabling criminal activity throughout the world. Y'all like that kind of stuff? Oh, because socialism? Okay, whatever. I still say if that's what needs to get done, that's what needs to get done. Period. 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 Okay.
100%.
When you said that, I just see that chick's face. That
You
did
saw the
that.
face. I'm
Yeah.
thank yeah, thank you, man. I try. I try to
see
make
it.
sure it happens.
I don't want to see it. No, I don't want to see it.
I'm gonna say it again. I think I'll put it in the chat now for sure. While the whole song. Just for you, because I care. Because I like my friends. Like my friends uncomfortable. Yes, there is actually tomorrow. You see, now you ask me. Now I gotta tell you. And Facebook done put a copyright strike on this for us on Facebook. Ain't that funny?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they funny. Facebook, you act like you're worth something to us. It's not. You're not the people we're looking for to try and make money on. Okay, so don't consider yourself that. This is the show tomorrow. In case you missed it, this is the show tomorrow. All right. So now, if you're one of them Catholics, don't get mad at me. I'm just showing you the reality of things. That's all I'm doing, just showing you the reality of things. Okay? Don't get mad, though. When I show you, don't get mad at me. This is not my opinion. This is just factual.
Ooh, that's going to be... might hurt some feelings with that one. You might have to convert.
I got some icy hot for them. It's okay. They can
How far back are you going?
Conception.
Oh, you're going to go into the council and to see it?
All of it.
The Pope was the fifth Pope that approved slavery.
They're going to go from Constantine on? Is that what it is?
Ooh.
All of it.
Ooh, that's going to be... The Catholics, guess who approved slavery and how it started? It was a Pope that did that.
Now, again, I'm just bringing you the information. Do with it what you will. But don't get mad at me. I'm not making this stuff up. This is just what the history says. And what the history say goes contrary to what y'all might say you'll follow if you say you're a Christian. That's all I'm showing you. Now, if you say that you are something else, but you call yourself a Christian, that's one thing. What I'm going to show you is not my fault.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, no, don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. They are Friday. Don't worry about that. Friday is Muslims. Don't stress over that. Friday is Muslims.
Make sure you guys tag the Vatican. And
now Fridays are Muslims, but Thursday is even more funny. And Thursday, I did this once before, but I think it's time we do it again. Is the BHI.
What's that?
Brotherhood of Muslims.
The Black Hebrew.
Oh.
Israel slights.
Did you see that skit? What's his name? Ducky? What's his name?
Drewski did?
Drewski? About the Black Hebrew Israelite? Yeah, that was spot on, too. Oh, that was so spot on. I avoid them like the plague every time I see them in town.
I avoid them like damn mosquitoes and flies.
Want nothing to do with that.
I'm going to do something that Candace Owens ain't willing to do because she's paid by the Vatican. I'm not going to be one of those people. You know, like y'all like to say I paid by Israel. She paid by the Vatican and better than me. Okay. So far, I ain't received my check that they told me I was going to get. So I'm going to have to call up Netanyahu and say, man, look, I'm waiting for my 7K.
Yeah.
I ain't seen it yet. We ain't seen ours yet either. Well, like we did ours and we still haven't seen our money.
Yeah. Dang, man. I checked the account today. It wasn't there. You know,
I should be 21 deep by now. I should be 20. Listen, I should be getting 7K for both sides, 7K for straight talk, and 7K for here. I want my 21.
What account is it going to?
I might have gotten it wrong.
It's probably not going to.
But they were going to send me a check. No, I ain't on that account. I just, you know.
I want my shekels.
If they're going to send money, I want it sent in crypto.
Crypto.
I want it in crypto.
And he don't mean Superman's dog neither. He talking about the other one.
Crypto.
Ducks, man. Now I'm waiting for my money. I want my money.
Yeah, me too.
Show
participated.
me the money.
I love June. Show me.
Jews never wrong. They always right. Give him my cash.
Oh,
And
I
don't
love
mean-
Sammy Davis Jr.
That's right. And I don't mean Patel. Show me the cash. Hava, Nakila, Hava, Nakila, Hava.
Like the moment that check hits my account, it'll be Mazel tov.
Laheim.
If I were a rich man, I can do it all. We can do it all for the money. I'll work hard for that money. Too funny. Anyway, Mr. Lee.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace out.
Peace.